What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. So today I'm coming to you guys with my predictions for Elimination Chamber this Saturday. Chamber is at the time of recording this video. It's only 4 matches in a segment. So we're gonna go through each match, what I think is gonna happen, who I think is gonna win, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna start off with the unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think these two are going to really put up a good match. I think there needs to be blood in this match with the stipulation that it's not on the WWE's hands, regardless of what happens. If Kevin Owens wants to power drive uh, Zayn a couple times, he can do that, and that's not on the WWE. So I do think the match needs blood, right? It needs and it calls for it to be blood, right? We've seen recently Sami Zayn talk about everything that he's been through with Kevin Owens, and it seems like they're always just finding their way back to each other. And if you also been paying attention, Kevin Owens showed up to Sami Zayn's house, and I feel like that is a big no-no. You do not show up to another man's house and expect to really come out on top in the end. So with that being said, I do think Sami Zayn is going to get the win here. The reason being, because I feel like the X factor, that being Randy Orton, might make his presence felt. And with it being no rules or anything like that, he could pretty much show up in RKO um, none other than Kevin Owens and allowing Sami to get the win here. I think that might be the route that they're going in, or if they want to, they could have Kevin Owens win, but still not feeling the validation that he wants. He still beats up on Sami even after he's won the match, and then that proceeds to have Randy Orton come back and that kickstart their feud. Regardless of how you put it, I think Randy Orton's gonna show up here, and we're gonna start the feud between KO and RKO and stuff like that going into WrestleMania 41 this year. The thing is, what do you do with Sami? I think Sami needs a big win like this, especially as we head into WrestleMania, because his whole path to WrestleMania right now is very uncertain, but that's neither here or there. But I do think Sami is going to get the win here. The next match is a tag team match between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Who do I think is going to win this match? I do think Trish and Tiffany need the win here, not just because Trish is from Toronto and this would be a big deal for her, but the thing is, we're trying to build to Charlotte versus Tiffany. Tiffany needs to get a win. She needs to start racking up wins as we head into WrestleMania. They need to be booking her, having her do some really interesting stuff as we do head into WrestleMania, because the whole story right now is um, she's not on Charlotte's level. And not saying that she can't get there, but we can start putting things in place to where she may seem like that, and maybe she seems like a threat to where Charlotte is going to have to overcome some things to overcome Tiffany to become champion. So I think that's the narrative that they should be trying to tell here. And we're pretty sure, I feel like during the match, Charlotte might make her presence felt. So I do think Tiffany and Trish need to get the win here, especially for Tiffany. Especially that she is champion. She needs this win more than ever. She needs to do this to establish herself as the champion. But what better way to do that by going to WrestleMania and beating Charlotte? But this is a good way to set up that. So I do think Tiffany and Trish should get the win and walk out with the W. Now we're heading into the Elimination Chamber match. The reason why I'm talking about the Rock stuff just yet is because I feel like it's gonna have some type of implications on the Chamber itself. So we're gonna kind of put all that in one thing, a little bow and whatnot. But now we're talking about the women's Elimination Chamber match. We have Roxanne Perez versus Bailey versus Bianca versus Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan. Now I feel like I'm gonna go through this and I'm gonna talk about the different participants within the match and talk about why they should or should not win. Right. Then we're gonna start off with Roxanne. Now, Roxanne would be a really good option just for the simple fact that she is new. This would be something new for the women's division, something exciting, something fresh, something we have never seen before, a fresh matchup. But we just brought up Roxanne to the main roster. I don't think we need to necessarily rush getting her into the main event scene. She's still relatively very, very young, and I think her time will come. I think the thing what they're doing with Roxanne here is similar to what they did with Tiffany last year. She came in there, she had a good showing. and whatnot. And then this preceded the rise of Tiffany Stratton post Chamber going into the rest of 2024. And I could see them being replicating that, but doing it with Roxanne. And she starts her rise post Chamber and probably going throughout the rest of the year. I think that's the route they're gonna go. And also, you got to understand that if you did catch Raw last night, even though I didn't see the segment, there was a segment between Roxanne and Bayley that gives me reason to believe that this is gonna be the plan come WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. So with that being said, I'm gonna say Roxanne and Bayley cancel each other out as far as being your winners for the chamber. Now we move on to Naomi. Naomi would be something interesting, but I don't think they have built her up enough to seem like a threat to go after the Women's World Championship at this current junction right now. They have not really done much for me to believe Naomi should be winning this. The thing is, for one, if they were going to have her face Rhea and whatnot, or have her be in a main event, they would have been having her get some big wins as of recently, and she has not been able to do that. And then on top of that, she's been in the tag team division. And third, she has this ever looming story of a black cloud over her head. The same thing goes for Bianca, that being Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill did not show up last night, but she could show up at the chamber. And I think if Jade Cargill shows up at the chamber, she's gonna go after either Naomi or Bianca or even both. Because I feel like both women were at play here. Like I said it recently in a video, I think Naomi was the one that attacked Jade, but Bianca is the one that ordered the hit to and stuff like that. So I think both women were involved in some way, shape, or form. So that kind of rules out Bianca. Because the thing is, now I also want to put this out there: Bianca and Naomi are no longer your tag team champions. Liv Morgan and Raquel did win the tag team champions last night, so this pretty much kind of maybe does open up both of these women potentially could winning the chamber. But I still don't think it's going to be the case, only because Jade Cargill is going to show up and she's going to cost one of these women, and I think it's going to be both, because I think people want to see Bianca turn heel. People want to see Bianca and Jade Cargill. That is the big match for right now. Bianca and Rhea would be really good, don't get me wrong, but they have not really built it up as of recently. They built it up when they were champions and stuff like that, but as of recently, they have not. They teased a little bit maybe in the lead up to Survivor Series last year, but still, I don't think they have built it up enough to where people want to see it. I think if they're gonna do it, maybe you could do this later in the year or even next year at WrestleMania, because there's gonna be 2 nights, so you could do that there. Or you could maybe hold off on this and to do it at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is 2 nights. You might want to fill both nights with something really special. And Rhea and Bianca could be a really good match if you were to do this at SummerSlam this year. So you could do that. And the thing is, I feel like Bianca would lose if she did face Rhea, though. That's just how I feel. That's my personal opinion. I feel like if she's to face her, she's gonna lose. The whole thing that they've been doing with Bianca is making her like this Undertaker, um, with her record and everything, like because she's been undefeated at WrestleMania. So I don't think by putting her in that position, I feel like you're putting Bianca's streak in jeopardy, right? So I feel like maybe you do something a little bit more safer with her, have her face Jade Cargill, and then you can have that feud. Maybe Naomi is going to be wrapped up in that, because I think all three women are going to be wrapped up with each other heading into WrestleMania. So I can't see it being Naomi or Bianca, sadly enough. So it leaves us with two women, and that being Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Now, also, I did forget to mention Bianca's also won the Elimination Chamber match back in 2022. So I think it's time for have somebody else who has not been able to win it just yet. And then with Alexa, she won the first one. She won the first one. She retained her championship in that the first ever Elimination Chamber match that they had for the women, which was a good match, by the way. She recently just came back. The crowd is behind her. You could do that, but the thing that's working against her is, for one, they just moved over to SmackDown. If you were gonna have her face Rhea, you could have just kept her on Raw, then moved her over to SmackDown. If we're gonna do a draft later in the year, that would have been how I would have done it. But with her doing that, I just feel like it kind of just be convoluted, in a sense, because I just don't. And then plus, she's gonna probably be joining the White Six. I think that's the story that they're trying to do with her. With we're seeing with the vignettes, the promos, and the matches. She's having the glitches are happening and stuff like that. So I do think that is her path that they're gonna take with her. So it only leaves one woman left. And I think this is gonna. And me personally, this is my winner for the Chamber. Liv Morgan is going to win the Chamber. There's different reasons why. First, this is her sixth time being in the Elimination Chamber. At some point, you have to have her win something. You can't just keep putting her in the Chamber match every year and put her in the Rumble every year if she's not going to really win and stuff like that. When she's pretty much, if you want to be honest, always a favorite every single time the Rumble comes around or the Chamber comes around. She's always a favorite but never wins. So I think this is going to be a good way to finally get her that win and have her be in a high profile match at WrestleMania. Now people are gonna be like, well, she just won the tag team titles. What does that mean? Well, if you want to do this, she could pull double duty. She could pretty much defend the tag team titles on one of the nights, and then she compete for the world championship on one of the other nights. It's simple, it's clear as day. You could easily get away with that. And if anybody's able to do that and pull that off, it is Liv Morgan. She has proven to me where she's kind of somewhat of a workhorse in the stuff and everything that she's been able to do this past year. So I think this will be a kind of a cool role for her. And plus, they've been building up almost like a triple threat type feud between Io, Rhea, and Liv. Liv beat won the championship. She lost it to Rhea. She's never gotten a rematch for it. Before she lost the championship, she beat Io. So there's that kind of story and going in there. And then before the Chamber, Liv beat Io via DQ. So they're still all three of those women are still wrapped up with the world championship scene. And come next Monday, because we know Rhea is going to face Io for the title. I think Liv gets involved and whatnot. And then maybe for like a week or two, it just straight up Liv and Rhea. You'll see the graphic and everything like that. Maybe you do something where it's getting too escalated to where Adam Pearce says, well, you know what? We'll do this. Liv, you did win the Chamber, so you have earned your opportunity, but you will face Io on a future episode of Raw or something like that. And if Io wins, she is added to the match and it becomes a triple threat. You could do it that way, or you could just straight up announce it's going to be a triple threat, or Rhea just gets sick and tired of having to deal with both of them. She's going to be like, you know what? I'm tired of sick and tired of dealing with both of you. You know what? I'm gonna have you both at WrestleMania. You could easily put it in that way as well. I think that'd be a cool concept of doing that. So my prediction to win the Women's Elimination Chamber, your champion Liv Morgan. Now on to the Rock thing. Now the Rock is gonna be there to confront Cody as far as selling his soul and being his champion. I don't think it's going to be him. I don't think Cody is going to accept the offer, and I think it's going to play into what happens. Maybe The Rock, there's a different amount of ways that people have been reaching out to me and have made it very clear. Maybe The Rock takes out somebody in the Chamber match as it stands, and he interjects himself, makes it, and he probably goes on to win the chamber. He says, well, if anybody's going to take the title from you, and if I can't have somebody do it, it's better to do it myself. You could do it that way. You can have somebody in this chamber go corporate. Now, who could be potentially going corporate? We have to look at the lineup. Seth Rollins, he's been a corporate guy before. He turned on the Shield, he joined the Authority, and he was a champion. He could do it again. You look at Logan Paul when The Rock talked about social media. Nobody has a bigger social media following in the WWE for the most part than Logan Paul. He has a huge social media following, which could bring new eyes to the product, which is something I feel like The Rock is something that The Rock really wants. So he could, endorse Logan Paul as being his guy. That's a possibility. Or you could do Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, and Rock, they had like a little bit of an interaction. I think when Drew would take some time off or something like that, and he was re-signing. Rock approached him. He gave him a sword and the contract. Maybe there was something that happened behind the scenes that we don't know about, and this is going to lead to something new. You could have Punk be corporate, but it doesn't make sense. I think Punk is similar to like Stone Cold, where he's just the guy that goes against the system. So I think that is his character. The person I think is going to be that's going to win the Chamber and probably be The Rock's guy, John Cena. The reason I think it's going to be John Cena, because John Cena has been dropping best for business in the recent promos when he lost at the Royal Rumble. The guy wants that 17th World Championship, and I feel like he's starting to become more desperate to want that opportunity and get that opportunity, and I feel like he would do anything and any means necessary to make sure that it happens. So you could have John Cena win it, and then this can be almost like a rehash of what happened when Stone Cold did it, right? They Stone Cold and Triple H became the two-man power trip. Just imagine the two-man power trip of current day if it's The Rock and Cena running roughshod over the WWE. I think that would create some compelling, interesting storytelling and moments on the WWE side of things. So I think John Cena is going to be my pick here, and that's who I'm going to win. John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. He goes on to face Cody Rhodes for the championship at WrestleMania. And you also got to think what happens with these other guys. I think Punk is probably gonna get screwed over by Roman. I think based off what we seen last night, I wouldn't be surprised if Logan Paul is facing CM Punk and then Drew, and I think Damian are gonna have a feud as well going into WrestleMania. So I think that's kind of how I see all these matches playing out and whatnot. So we will see. But comment down below, let me know what are your predictions for Chamber this week. Who do you guys have winning? How do you guys see these matches playing out? And all that good stuff. Road to 2,000 subscribers. Ultimate goal is 10K by the end of 2025. So let's make it happen as a wrestling community, as a wrestling family. But with that being said, hope everybody has a great day, great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.